We're going to look at simplifying polynomials. And polynomials are functions that have multiple, or actually you can have a monomial, but they are expressions with variables and constants, which would be whole numbers involved in them. Okay? So the first thing we're going to do in this question is we're just going to try to figure out which are like terms. That's the very first thing we want to do. It's not like we have to move things from one side of an equal sign to another because there's nothing here. They haven't given us anything. So it's actually not even an equation. It's just an expression because they haven't set it equal to anything. So we're just going to simplify, collect like terms. So a like term, we take a look here. We have negative 8y. Okay. Now the next term is 9y, but it's squared. Would these two be the exact same term? Would they be like terms?
No.
They wouldn't. They won't be like terms because actually here there's an exponent. Do you know what's exponents there even though we don't write it?
1.
1. So think of any variable that has no exponent as having the variable 1. So I'm going to go and just fill that in here. 1, 1. So now it's actually a lot easier to see what are our like terms. We look for a variable with a exponent that's the same. The coefficient, which is the number in front, it doesn't matter. So this one has a coefficient of negative 8, y to the power of 1. Here we go. We have another y to the power of 1. So this will be a like term. It has a coefficient of 2. So I'm just going to highlight them so we know. And then this one's squared, so it's not. And again, this one is y to the power of 1, coefficient negative 3. So these three are like terms. And what I can do is I can just rewrite them to make it simpler. Now, you might be able to do this all right in your head after this step, but I'm just going to rewrite them with the operation in front of the coefficient coming along with it. So what does that mean? That means I have negative 8y. This is a plus sign, so plus 2y. And this is a subtraction sign, so minus 3y. Okay, so I now dealt with those three. Let's take a look if the other two are like terms. We have positive 9y squared. Yep. And negative 2y squared again. So because both y's are squared, those are like terms. And do that in green. So we'll take these two like terms and put them together. So the first one is positive 9y and it's squared. And the second one is minus or negative 2y squared. So now we've put them beside each other so it's a little simpler to deal with. From here, all we're going to do is we're just going to look at the coefficients and we're going to deal with adding and subtracting the values of the coefficients. Okay, so we know the ones in red are like terms and the ones in green are like terms. So our red one here, we have negative 8 plus 2. Okay, you can take a calculator out if you want, but if you use like a number line, think of it like this. Think of it like you're starting at negative 8 and we go in a positive direction, which is to the right. Negative would be to the left. Two values, 1, 2. Well, the positive direction would take us to negative 6. So we have negative 6y. And we still haven't dealt with this one, so I'm just going to write it in. I'm going to do kind of one at a time. And our green values I can do right now. We already know it's going to be y squared. We just deal with the two coefficients. So we have positive 9. Same idea. I think we're at positive 9. Okay, and we're going to go in the, see how it says negative? We're going to go in the negative direction. So we go 1, 2. Well, that would be 8, 7. So we're going to have 7y. Now, is my 7 positive or negative here?
Positive.
Positive, so I'm going to put an addition sign there. Okay, so it now says negative 6y minus 3y plus 7y squared. Sorry, I should say that. And finally, this last one, negative 6. Okay, well, if I'm at negative 6, and I know this direction would be negative 7, this direction would be negative 5. Okay, it says go negative 3 values. So I'm going to go 1, this is the negative direction, 2, 3, this would be negative 8, negative 9. So I now have negative 9y plus 7y squared. Now we take a look. We only have two terms left. Are they like terms? They're not. So that's it. This is the simplest this expression can go. Normally what they'll do is they'll write the variable with the highest exponent first. So normally this would probably be written as 7y squared minus 9y. But for all intents and purposes, these two things are the exact same. Okay? So I went through that one pretty slowly, but that would be how you would simplify a polynomial.